the moment we've all been waiting for, FNATIC and Sentinels facing off. It's just day 2 here, but again, this could be a finals with teams this good from Europe, FNATIC, and Sentinels from North America, of course. Opening up onto ICEBOX, FNATIC on the attack, and already we'll get an ice orb thrown in towards the A site just to create some presence. However, there is movement here towards the B site, though, for FNATIC, as they'll pick up the ultimate orb as well. So at this point, if you're Sentinels, you're not quite sure really what's happening. We do see Shazam getting a quick info grab.
All right, so we'll see what they're doing is they're going
A-Main.
forward into the play. So with a little technical difficulty, we'll get DD back in just a moment here. A minute and 10 left on this round. Looks like it's a full B play towards Crane. The walls are set up. Slow play for now. You get a bit of a drone out to see what's happening. A nice job by Sick to get an eye on what the prize could be as they work their way towards B. FNATIC here, not exactly deathballing as Magnum is on the side focus. Alert bot in mid so they can keep the rotation. Like I said, chess game. Expect these rounds to go late and everything to be a pressure play. Execution coming in on to B now. And we'll see if they can make this happen. Everybody rotating around from Sentinels, the team that loves to play the retake. And we'll see what they can produce on this. Looking at Sick. Wall's up now, and they can't really make an entry towards that top side. Spike has been planted, and it's a fury to get back in here. Shazam with one on the ghost to Durka, and that's a quick drop. Shazam on the jet for this game, if we haven't already noticed. He's going to be the one making the plays. They're getting the defuse down. Shazam's going to find it. They cut the wire, and they get the first round over on Sentinels. Are on the board with one. Frag still coming through for Magnum. Shazam goes down in the end, but they are happy to pick up a few. Shazam gets an extra $400 for those. And we'll see what they can continue to do. Mystic getting a few, Magnum getting a few. We saw FNATIC wanting to pressure a late round strat to start. Altogether, Magnum on the flank to make sure they could get any stragglers from Sentinels, but Sentinels as well, moving accordingly to get back over there and really pressuring, knowing it's very hard to hold B in the beginning. Everybody's either going to be behind yellow or behind any of those toxic screens that are up. They're going to have to force their way through. Dangerous if you don't have weapons. Quickly up to the maze. Tens gets himself right on top of pipes here, and we'll see if he can hear Magnum coming around. So it's a great intel spot. Durka with the Marshall coming up huge. Oh, my word. And I think we have DDK back. There's back. All right, I believe.
All right, straight back into the action. Although we have a nice little calm point here as we get the rotation from FNATIC over towards the B side of the map. Not too much there to defend this, of course. Just Soms playing a retake position. Just looking to hold ground at this point. There's just not that much information for Sentinels, stacking more towards middle at the moment. But they figured it out. The question is, Riv, if they're going to be able to really stop this. FNATIC, one of the things that they do best on this map is playing those post-plant lineups. And it looks like they shouldn't have too much of an issue in getting the plant that they're looking for here with that Viper utility down on the ground.
And they've gone for that kind of partial buy here. Coming into the second round, the spike plant and extra money makes them feel good about putting a little bit of investment here into this second round. Toxic screens start to go up as Boaster gains a little bit of ground. He does not have a shock dart for another 3, but he gets into position to fire that off here as Durka takes another one down. Dapper falls.
Yeah, force to push in here, Sentinels. They know they have to make the action happen here. If they allow everybody to fall back off of the spike into those post-plant positions, it's going to be very tough indeed. And that's what's beginning to happen here. FNATIC, with good positioning overall, Boaster playing around yellow, can sense the presence here of Sentinels as they start to make the move forwards. Boaster's able to at least deal with one. 2 more players here for Sentinels as they get the pressure on, but Zoms, he's going to have to try to stick this, and he's going to be burning in the acid.
Oh.
Not a great look for him. FNATIC, really, really well done by them. I mean, I just love seeing the discipline. You know, once they got that advantage on the player, the player advantage, sorry, they were able to, slow take that B site. They didn't rush things. They tried to, put up the utility, see if that would bait a response. Once they understood what was happening, they just make their way, methodically forward to get that wall up for the safe plant. Just very disciplined stuff here from FNATIC, looking really tight on these pushes so far.
Looking happy as well on their side. The end of those getting pretty gritty. FNATIC holding strong. And we got to remember they played Crew yesterday. They're feeling pretty good as they are on the stage. Shazam and squad on Sentinels in their first game. Trying to put these frags in. We'll see what they can do now. 1-1 as that was an awesome eco round to put Sentinels on their heels coming into round 2. See, it's another B strat here. They're feeling comfortable. They feel like the challenge and getting face-to-face with Sentinels is in their favor. So FNATIC go towards B again.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to deny this site take if your Sentinels with so little in the way of equipment. We do have the knives out from Shazam. He's able to nail Durka. Around the side he goes. Shazam is annihilating everybody with the ultimate, and that's going to cause a lot of problems here. 2 players left, Doma and Magnum, as they try to swing their way around. The pressure's coming in, though. The spike gets tapped, and forced to fight is Magnum, and he will not be able to deal with the numbers. Sentinels lock it in, thanks to Shazam's heroics.
Oh my, already this game is delivering. Dueling third round Blade Storm coming in from Durka and Shazam. Let's see more of that. 2-1 coming in. What a round for both teams there. Love to see the aggression. Love to see that both teams are not giving an inch. It wasn't waiting for the plant. They were pushing in before they knew what the actual hit was because of the information gained on both sides. Toxic screen, schmoxic screen. Boom! The flex on for Shazam there, and an amazing play as the team followed up. And Sentinels feeling good, but I feel like this is going to be a very back and forth game, Dan.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And in terms of momentum, though, I'm loving that for Sentinels because that's got to feel good. And FNATIC, not with the best equipment in the world. Both are on the Ghost there. We'll see what they're able to accomplish here. Going for the pressure towards B-Long. They don't have to commit into this. They don't really have presence elsewhere on the map, but they're going to pick up the ultimate orb, and Shazam's going to be here with the operator. Oh, he actually whiffs that one, and he can't get away. That is a huge opening early on now for FNATIC, going up 5 against 4, and with a minute on the clock to play with as well.
It's so big because we see it's already a recuperation buy with still some Spectres. It was 1 for 1 as we went into round 2, which means it was an eco. Sentinels was building back up, and the op investment after that back and forth economy, it needs to at least return something. So great job by FNATIC to start off there, make it really sting on this round to start. And it's going to be Sentinels to pick this up and find that op if they can. Doma says, not this time, though.
Yeah, great moves going up on the wall in the toxic, rather in the poison orb. That's so smart. Really creates problems here. There's not much left now for Sentinels, leaving just sick after Zombs goes down. And FNATIC, you know, you said it's going to be very back and forth, and it's looking like FNATIC have such a strong response. Shazam, after having such a great round just previous, struggling to connect that one shot, and that was all it took. That opportunity going to FNATIC. They knew how to play out that man advantage. And again, it's that methodical approach towards that B side that's been causing some issues. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of adaptation coming through from Sentinels, where maybe they invest more to try to actually aggressively take B long. Or they can play retake on B as well. There's definitely a few different options available to Sentinels if they want to try to mix things up. If they feel like they're not having too much luck here on B long.
Just quickly encroaching in. The play right now for what we see coming in from FNATIC is, okay, they're going to give us enough room to make it all the way up Crane, even to yellow, get a toxic screen, our Sage wall up, and be able to plant. They're so happy to take the after fight. They have a really great post plant so far. So doing that each time, you saw the spike go towards B at the beginning of this one as we were watching the replays, but this time it sits behind A for one of the first times. And they've only been here to pepper A, FNATIC that is. Now it looks like they may actually commit to the site, and we'll see how Sentinels reacts in round 5.
I have the spike.
Drone comes through. Durka watching patiently within high ground. Now the question is, do Sentinels want to just, in fact, they are going to full hold this. They're not going to try to retake it all. It looks like it's all on the line right here on the side.
Spike down A.
And there goes the lockdown. That's going to force them back out. So they wanted to fight for this rip, but they're going to get denied by that lockdown. So that's actually had massive value.
Util to come up. Shock Dart come in from 6. Shazam goes down, though, as they're still waiting for a little bit of find to get back into this site. Maybe a sonar bolt to make it happen. 4v4 on the retake as Durka takes aim from all the way on the back of steps.
Boaster, great
so well
line on
up.
that Hunter's Fury, absolutely. And also he has the ability to go for this late lurk, this flank, it has been detected. Dapper's looking for it on the back. He's actually going to take down Boaster, and there goes the spike tapped. It's going to be FNATIC having to force the issue, moving closer now. They've got to close the distance because the stick seemed to be coming, but Tens comes off of it to get the frag, to prevent the trade. Has to stick it again. Does he have time? Can he make it work? Oh! FNATIC able to take that one. My goodness, that was so very close, down to the milliseconds. But FNATIC, they pull it out of the back rib, 3-2 for them.
Beautifully played by FNATIC on that one. I love the way they're setting up around the ultimate. They got back for Boaster to be able to do a nice Hunter's Fury, cause chaos in the site. And you see the power of Sentinel's retake there. And what I think is extra awesome is FNATIC right now is, again, getting to the site pretty much as fast as they can and getting the plant down, which puts Sentinels in their retake position. And FNATIC, they're still not letting Sentinels get the retakes in. So doing a great job at that while Sentinels is even trying to play their game still.
And we may have one of those more sleepy rounds where it's just a few pistols, but the Sheriffs can be quite dangerous, especially in a map like ICEBOX. We have all these open ranges. These cheeky Sheriffs can certainly cause problems. I think a good initial objective for Sentinels is to get a couple kills if they possibly can find a way to do so. Dapper's able to find some jiggle action around Yellow. He will have to back away though. He's managed to actually bait out some utility, so he's gotten a lot of information. That's going to allow his teammates to respond here. Sentinels will have players in position to maybe deal with this, but all of this utility is certainly hard to cut through.
Boaster got so much good vision in mid. He droned all the way under tube into a kitchen, seeing Viper both of Zoms and I believe Sick back there. So they have a great idea of what kind of utility they'll be facing after seeing the slow orbs. FNATIC is doing a great job of just getting in the mind of Sentinels here before these rounds start, which is why it looks like they're moving so seamlessly into B each time. And a nice Viper bite to get a frag there onto Dapper.
Oh my god, all the Viper rolls coming through here, and it's just an absolute mess, but there's no one on the spike just yet. You see some not quick enough to deal with the second nano swarm. Got the first one though. Sick able to take down Magna, makes it a 3v3, but time is against Sentinels on this retake. Bosa's trying to push the issue, find his way forward towards the spike. He's dealt with the issue there, and that will be FNATIC picking it up. And Ace coming through, great stuff there. My goodness.
All right. Our first round separation. Does Sentinels claw back, or can FNATIC add a little padding? It looks like they have the momentum too. They're starting to figure out again. See, they get right to the site once they can. They only need a little bit of info to do that. And then they set up to play that game of chess as they back up throughout all of this utility. Like we said, utility heavy, right, Dan? Site takes as they get back in. High fives, fist bumps all around from FNATIC as they start to take a bit of a lead.
Definitely. Oh, I love this from Shazam as well, going deeper right at the beginning, looking for those opening picks with the operator, trying to mix up those angles so you can catch your opponents off guard. Doesn't get anything this time, except some early information, and we'll see just a default coming through here from FNATIC, slowing things down on the attack, seeing if they could catch any early plays from Sentinels. I think at this point it would make a lot of sense that Sentinels would be trying to do something in the early round, but they are actually holding passive for now.
It might be one of those 30 seconds again, right as 30 seconds hit, slam the site, get it down, pressure the utility usage, and again, fight within that chaos. There's the 1 minute mark going through. So using utility here would kind of leave you at a weird moment, having utility come back every 30 or so seconds for controllers and whatnot, but it looks like that's when they want to execute. So they're going to plant shortly after this, unless they're drawing things out of Sentinels on this, or FNATIC, sorry.
And actually going through towards A, actually.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good early defense coming through from Tens, and Shazam knocking down everybody here for FNATIC. Very little left to work with. Boaster and Durka is all that remain, and time is against them here as well. Shazam, he doesn't stop. Another one for him. That's all Durka can do to maybe get a couple kills there, keep some damage there, but Shazam finishes it off with style. Lovely stuff. And it was interesting, because we had what looked like, well, typically, Magnum's going to be playing towards A with the Killjoy turret trying to deny information. And I think, you know, there is a general tendency to try to set up towards B here. You know, we've seen that preference already from FNATIC. And this being the first time that they actually do try to go A. And I feel like it almost feels like a bait, you know, sending Magnum towards A for that presence. So you're almost not convinced, I feel like. But Sentinels managed to work this really effectively thanks to Shazam.
And the focus was to get the operator back in his hands as soon as possible. They know what kind of control it puts on the site. And it stops aggression really well. We know that. It's one of the things the operator does best, is it shuts down aggression. What a shot coming in there from Shazam. Ten's answers as well as they start to take a few at a little bit of an econ by here as they farm down FNATIC for round 8.
Yeah, that's the scary thing with the A side, isn't it? You're going to be running into Ten's and Shazam. So, yeah, very scary prospect, especially given that the operator has been out for some time. FNATIC, you know, you may expect them at this point, you know, given how much they've been shut down on around A, that maybe they would start working that B1 control early again. So then, you know, the mind games start to come through, and there's a couple options. Either Sentinels do what they've been doing, which is just actually generally playing fairly passive across the board, or they actually try to anticipate FNATIC going back to B, and there's no guarantee of that. But it looks like that is happening. We've got early presence here towards that B-long position, Riv.
Yeah, we're hot in. Durka's hurt. He got a quick peek in. Took an op shot from Shazam. He'll get healed up there by Doma. So they're taking a second to reset. Get themselves back into position. Now, the operator, as I said, shuts down aggression, but it's also probably going to draw a little bit more utility out of FNATIC. So they got to figure out what Shazam's first shot is, where that operator then moves to, because it usually goes to a second spot. And you can see now he's creeping over towards under mid. Going to see if he can route what usually is the rotation here from Magnum, and we'll see if it pays off. Smoke goes down, though, so they're going to be covered on the rotations. Nice job by FNATIC, keeping everything in mind around the map as they move silently.
I love the cutting of noise here. Just try to see if there's anything coming from Sentinels, but they themselves, again, have been showing that they don't really want to take any chances, just keep continuing to play passive, not taking risks. And that's a fantastic find there, and there's a res. That means that they know that there's at least 2 players around A main. That might make them think that there's action towards A, but at the same time, here comes the play towards B, so quite confusing, but 20 seconds to go here, Riv, and soon the game will be given away for FNATIC with this plant on B.
I think the size of B always allows it a site that 5v5 are alive once the spike goes down. Here we are for that play. Spam just through the underside of the box where Zoms can cut it. The heal, or rather Rez comes in down to Shazam now. And they are cleaning up a bit at the site as the trades go back and forth, Dan.
Yeah, lovely stuff. FNATIC running out of time there, unfortunately for them. Sentinels really holding on to things. And again, you know, Sentinels they're doing such a good job without information. They're just so confident in how they can retake positions together that they're not really putting anything to chance. And there's a lot to be said for playing that style, you know, because you're giving up information to do it. And the cost of doing that is that you feel a bit safer. But hey, you know, they're really making it work in this matchup so far on ICEBOX. And this is a retake heavy map. And so far they're showing confidence there.
Whoa. Confidence on both sides here. We see Shazam going up with his operator. Hunter's Fury there for Boaster. Blade Storm and Empress available. Shazam just on point with the quick flicks right now as you see him switching back and forth.
Yeah, he is really nailing people there. Lightning fast with those flicks indeed. Again, he is a deterrent on that A site, and FNATIC once again going to Old Comfort, that B site.
Yep.
I love the wall here. That's going to really delay any split attempts. So that just messes with the timings here for FNATIC. They're going to be forced to make their way forward, though. Magnum with a great creep forward takes down Zoms. Dapper might be in with a chance here as he wants to try to harass them, but now down to 3 players. Dapper has to survive. He's got to keep his team anchored on this site for a retake.
I love the way they altered this strat a little bit from the side of FNATIC. Usually that wall is up when they get into the site. This time it's down and they say, how much room will you give us, Sentinels? It was quite a bit of room, but here comes Shazam once again. We've seen it before. Another one, but he's over at yellow. That's Mystic. That's the round. We're tied up once again at 5-5.
Impressive stuff from FNATIC. Really nice recovery. The forward push coming through around B was just fantastic. Really opened things up there for them in what was otherwise a fairly dire situation.
Yeah.
Again, Shazam and Tens, they've been they've been formidable on that A side. It feels very hard to gain entrance. And we might see, once again, early presence placed on that A site. Look at, judging by the minimap.
Looking at the economy, looking at that timeline, it is going to be another purchase here. Sentinels do go down, but Shazam puts an extra $200 in his pocket as they aggress. It was FNATIC taking a bit of ground. Now Sentinels is saying, we'll take that ground first and do quick pepper shots as Durka drops it. Shazam goes down.
Yeah, that first pick was totally gross. Now it's up to Tens to hold this one down. He's got Sick as well. Sick is going to get taken out by Durka, and Tens is going to go forward. He doesn't really have much choice. So with that said, after the dust settles, there's only 2 players remaining now for Sentinels in this retake. But only 3 to deal with, so it feels quite doable for them. As Dapper presses his way forward, but the Viper's pick coming through is certainly going to make life more difficult here for Sentinels. Tom's up above, trying to find his way forward, but I think he's got sprayed straight through. That's heinous stuff from FNATIC, working out quite nicely. 6-5 as they look to try to take advantage going into the final round of the first half.
Mystic on the Viper, 12 and 6. Shazam, 17 and 10. Both doing for what they can for their teams to bring these frags out. The trade from Shazam, but Durka, again, we saw it in their first match where he just kept picking up kill after kill. He's a madman when it comes to opening up the site for FNATIC, and everybody rides that wave right behind him. We saw it right there for the round to pick up number 6 as we head to round 12. Can Sentinels tie it up?
Yeah, Shazam actually looking for something in mid, or we haven't seen him really doing this before, so it could catch FNATIC off guard, especially if they have a mid-round rotation after the default. And maybe you see a player peel off from either the B or the A pressure, and Shazam will be able to catch one of those players, but not finding too much just yet. Going beyond the poison orb, Shazam really looking for that opening pick here.
I mean, they don't have to do much more on this round. With him pushed up that far, there's no way they come back around him, so he's good to always peek that side. Luckily enough, the bomb's spikes just to his right, and they're going to make sure nothing is encroaching into the sites. Sentinels more than happy to let the Spectre in the partial buy here in their last round bring FNATIC a little closer to these angles. That's going to be one frag. Shazam probably knows there's more behind that jump as they're looking to rotate to either site, but he may have to move now that he got found out.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, huge pick, and it almost seemed like they tried to punish the fact that he was there as opposed to A, and then they walk into Tens. So only 3 players left at FNATIC as they make their way into that B site now. And there's not much time left here. Durka, nice opening pick following it up as well, but it's up to Mystic now. 10 seconds to plant this spike. He might just be able to get this down, but he's got Shazam there. Just such a presence on that B site, and that is Sentinels tying things up at the end of the first half, 6-6.
The operator came in huge for Sentinels. The way that FNATIC was executing on the sites, able to get in, they were only having small windows to make those frags happen, and a small window is all Shazam needs. Over and over, we saw it on every site take, and Shazam was a very big key factor in making sure they were able to get that round.
Shazam's on 20 kills after the first half. That's not a bad start at all. My goodness.
Yeah.
You love to see that if you're a Sentinels fan.
Well, it's 6-6 now. And look, back and forth, almost trading round for round. There were a few pockets there where teams were getting in the groove, but we'll see if FNATIC can start to pick up this pistol. They have the wall, the intention's there on the side to block something out if they want to push, and you can see where they already have Doma and Durka pushed up to. They say, well, it's going to be here, block them off immediately. and will stop their strat, so they have to call strat number 2. Looks like they'll back
Yeah.
off of this, actually, without seeing any pressure yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you're familiar with Fnatic's playstyle and there is a lot of information out there with all these setups that they like to play, it could be a good way to isolate a couple players, knowing that they'd be playing these spots. Dirk will be committing this defense from yellow, and there's a swing, gets the dink, but Tens has the ghost advantage, and there goes the spike down. Sentinels in great advantage now. They've got the clock playing against Fnatic, as well as the post-plant positioning, and an extra player as well. So looking very nice so far from Sentinels.
Looking for Dapper. 30-second heal for him. Abilities coming back up. Sick. Looking to take some shots from the right. His 10's now firing forward and finds one in 2. Boaster on the flank now. This could actually be huge as he's turned around on by Zombs. Who's going to win that fight?
The timing. Boaster doing some damage there. It's up to Mystic now to try to do this. There's 2 players to worry about. Oh my goodness, Mystic somehow makes that one work. Perfect timing.
He's got
Does
it.
he have enough though? Does he have enough time for this defuse? It's close! Oh, not quite. Mystic,
0.02.
such a good effort, but it's not going to work out, Riv.
Oh my word, he cut the wrong wire. We saw it right there. His hand slipped. Holy moly, the .02s are coming out now. Okay, that is just something else. What a round. Mystic again, having one of these rounds where he just puts himself in the spotlight. Oh, it was just under that point. Unfortunate. Sentinels pouring one out on that one. They feel good to see that come into their favor. The pistol round goes to Sentinels.
Ooh, Marshall coming out. I like it from Durka. Marshall is dangerous.
Here.
Dashby looking
So-
for this one. They're actually going to challenge this, Riv. This feels
Yeah.
quite scary. Durka will go down, though.
Ooh.
But Doma is there to represent.
Quick shot to the Doma. Another shot to the Doma. Almost gets another one. Zombs takes him down, and they're going to be taking the site now. Boaster looking to get some early damage in, just misses out on Zombs. And a great flank hold here by Shazam, but he's not going to find anything just yet, so it's a wonder if they'll take it all the way back.
Last player standing.
Ooh. I don't know if they'll have to, but it looks like they're still going to. You can see Fnatic discussing on the other side, saying, all right, not a problem. You know, they know what they did wrong in that round. Let Mystic play this one out. And they're still doing good damage on these rounds. They do get the Marshals, they get a few Sheriffs, they drop Dapper, they drop 10s. They know as well, you see Sens is just getting into their eco rounds, a little bit of a bonus. So, or not eco round, sorry, just the bonus. And that will hurt for their next buys. If they're able to keep the operator off Shazam and things like that, it is a very big boon for them. Woo!
Great shots there. And as you say, getting in the damage, just making it feel as aggressive as possible. It's really important. Definitely goes a long way, especially at this level. And that belong play from Durka and Doma will be quite crucial to Fnatic's success. You can see the drone will tag Durka. And you can see that Sentinels understand this. They want to always force this setup back because they want to deny the information from Fnatic. And they can do whatever they want after that. But you can see that the drone opening makes it fairly safe and not too much of an investment for Sentinels to do that.
Yeah.
And they know that they kind of have to do that because of, again, if you've studied Fnatic, you'll see Durka and Doma with those close B setups.
It's that chess play. You have to figure out what the move is before you can take an advance somewhere else, right? You got to see a few steps ahead. I mean, if they just went to hit A there, the push is pretty intense coming in from that side of Fnatic. There's shots coming to start the round as they trade 1 for 1.
And here comes the play more forward in towards this A site now. Fnatic have to try to defend this. Don't think they want to play retake. Bosa in a forward position will get taken down. Nice trade though from Durka. Has that Vandal to work with. And Fnatic have this backside control mostly still to play with, so that's a good omen for them. But Zombs is up close and personal with Spectre running out of bullets though, and the trades keep on coming through. Fnatic still with a chance here, but Tens is making it impossible. Fantastic finish from him. And that said, I did really enjoy Mystic, with that forward push rib, I think perhaps that
Yeah.
is to punish the fact that they know that Sentinels will invest towards B long fairly heavily at that early timing, so it's safer for him to walk out that far.
Absolutely. Grabbing info is one of my favorite things. If you're not doing it, I feel like it's a problem. So anywhere to get it, Mystic's able to use that perfectly, especially as the Viper to cut off positions. Hits around. How about the Zoms? And that's why we actually see Viper a lot. You're changing the complete view of the site, all the angles you want to create. And now that she's been in the mix a lot more for more teams, you play around that. She's not so much of what I used to call a trickster, where you're pretty much doing things for yourself. That's kind of like Yoru now. But yeah, Viper is so much more integrated into these plays. So Mystic being able to push up and utilize all that space is absolutely huge, because he delivers that to Boaster, and that's exactly how FNATIC works. Boaster wants all that information so he can walk around and they can start to pick apart their opponents for wherever, it's usually wherever Durka can get in and start getting first bloods, as we've heard of his stats.
And it does feel like, as we see this tactical timeout coming from FNATIC, it's definitely very difficult from them, because you mentioned the pistol rounds previously, and we saw how insanely close that victory was on the pistol in the second half was for Sentinels. And for them to be able to get off to a good start on the attack, where they're able to dictate the pace, able to condition their opponents, it's a very comfortable position for Sentinels to find themselves in. Whereas FNATIC, they're going to have to. I mean, it's very difficult on ICEBOX. It's hard to take risks on ICEBOX. There's other maps like Ascent or Haven, or there's lots of other maps in the pool where it's much easier for you on the defense to take the initiative and to try to adapt. But on this map, it's much more difficult, I think. So it feels more
routes
oppressive.
Just aren't there.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely requires you to be a very confident team inherently, because you're not going to get given too much, and you're going to have to be reactive. It's kind of just how it is. So we'll see what adjustments come through from FNATIC as we go into their following buy rounds. But as we can see here, the money's not too good, so it's going to be a half buy coming through from FNATIC. So maybe this would be a round, if there were to be any rounds featuring shenanigans, this would be a good place for it for FNATIC.
Exactly. They'll get 2,900 on that side of FNATIC. If they lose this round, they will be able to buy next, no matter what here. Tapper's going to start off with the Phantom as they start trading. And again, Sentinels focus that crane area at B-Long.
Yeah, it really seems once again they know that they can get those kills there, because Durka and Doma have been playing that forward setup very consistently. And so if you know you can get a couple kills there, you can go for it.
Doma pushing out the back. FNATIC doing a great job of saying, hey, nothing to really lose this round. Let's move as a bit of a death ball. They break off one, just so Doma can come from a different angle here. He should have his heal by the time he gets back around. And now I think they're going to both work underneath, unless they save this into the next round. That could also be a play and just do a bit of damage on the way out, since this is such a hard retake. When you are retaking B, you need to invest a lot. In the beginning, I think a lot of teams didn't take B because it was just so open. It was hard to break off, really get a good strategy in, or make a util work, because it ended up with everybody just peeking out of B long and then it becoming a family photo firefight over and over. Here, the split with the toxic screen, so good. They're able to spam through it with a little bit of knowledge of what's coming, and Mystic will save that Vandal overall on this round. Whoa.
Oh, that was close. I was looking at the minimap and I was like, is he going to survive?
He tucked in his arms and legs. Hands, feet, arms inside the ride at all times. 10-6. Sentinels really creating a gap for themselves here with 4 up as we come into round 17.
Yeah, definitely doing a great job. But, if we're going to see a turnaround, obviously there's not too many more opportunities for FNATIC. But this would be a great one. They've gotten a fairly good sense of what Sentinels have been doing into their first buy round. We go now. We'll see the operator is going to be out in the hands of Shazam, so that might be a new challenge. 3 players here. Once again, that B-long presence is maintained by FNATIC. They really want to win this. Durka actually going forward, gets the dink. Doma finishing off 10s. Res comes through, though, and Sentinels getting a lot of action towards this B-long position once again. And, maybe even asking questions through the tube. Mystic has to try to respond in mid here. They've got to get something back, but it's just failing here, Riv. There doesn't seem to be anything for them.
10s drops them. With the way the econ is flowing here, Dan, this means I think 3 members of FNATIC are going to have a very hard time buying coming into this round. That would be Durka, Boaster, and Magnum. I believe Mystic and Doma had a few extra bucks in their pocket just from saving up or the way they bought their utility, but that means rounds become harder. FNATIC has to find a way to make these eco rounds count a little bit more because the bank of Sentinels is growing. And when Sentinels feel like they have control of the game, that means everyone is vibing. You don't need it to be a TENS. You don't need it to be a SICK. And honestly, the IGL of Shazam right now is stepping up with the operator for the team if you were to look.
And it seems like there's such a good read here from Sentinels as to how FNATIC want to play and where they can get their opening kills, because they've been reliably doing that. We do see Shazam getting taken out early on here in that forward position around Belt, and that's going to be some small consolation for FNATIC to work with, but they don't have good weaponry. They're going to try to get that weapon. Zombs with the punish. Great flick onto Boaster. That will even the numbers up. And in the meantime, SICK has made his way towards B.
They've already got their way in. Here come the abilities. Utilities out. Dapper with a great kill onto Durka. And now Mystic's going to do what he can. He's been fantastic in these situations, but alone now, he tempers himself to not, or make sure rather, he does not go down. Here comes the retake from both sides. Still a little bit tentative on the side of FNATIC as they watch their flanks, and it looks like they may allow this round to go through. Oh, Mystic.
Threading the needle there with that Spectre.
Lighting the fuse.
This is getting quite awkward now. 3v3. Som's Viper's Pit is out of the picture, but Mystic has his, oh no.
Oh my god.
Magnum with the
Oh my
timing.
god.
Oh, that's a spike too. You hate to see it.
Perfect
Not
play
your
from
FNATIC.
Magnum.
One enemy remaining. I have this one.
This
Now
round
defense.
is something else right now, Dan.
There's no time here really for TENS, is there? And that Viper's Pit is so much to work against. But maybe you can get a frag out of it at least. That's the goal at least. Nope, then there it is. It's over. That's a wrap.
Super smart play there by FNATIC, taking it slow. The fact that Mystic didn't fully commit at any time and he was still creating pressure. Viper does so much there. And really, props to Mystic there, and then props to Magnum for coming up huge, finding SICK with patience. Patience was the play there for FNATIC.
Yeah, such brilliant timing on that wraparound, and such an important round to pick up as well. FNATIC, you know, we've been describing that they're
Yeah,
definitely on
really
the struggle bus. And, you know, FNATIC, you know, with the usual tricks, they're the slow orb, deep B long, that gives control for them, and that usually allows them to run the forward setups that they have been running. But this time, they'll be leaving the operator on that one with Durka and having more presence towards the A side of the map, where Sentinels are putting all of their focus. So it works out quite nicely for FNATIC. But the question is, do FNATIC want to play retake, or do they want to try to hold the A site proper? Because you know, those are two very different things. Boaster does have Hunter's Fury, so he might want to get out of the sites and play retake with that.
Yeah, it's a good eye. 3 ults on both sides. Blade Storm and Empress on the side of Sentinels. That Hunter's Fury, Res, and Lockdown. Are we going to see that here divide the site a little bit? Hunter's Fury will come first to hold the lockdown if it really becomes necessary with the spike play, and Zombs will fall. Eagle Eye Boaster comes up big.
Huge pick off to get. Oh, Mystic goes in as well, finds Shazam, and there is a huge opening here now for FNATIC. But speaking of which, TENS is going forward. The trade comes through, though. Then FNATIC are holding on wonderfully. That's such a great hold from them. Couldn't have gone any better. They only lost a single player.
Doma there.
Such a great hold. That Hunter's Fury really did come in handy as well. Taking out the Viper is always a nice way to start off.
So cleanly played. FNATIC definitely aren't pressuring themselves into anything they don't want to. They're playing it smart, like we saw with Mystic the other round, letting Sentinels in a little bit, giving them a false sense of security as they make it in. Doma will pop out, somebody else will pop out, and we'll see that it is just not able to be held by Sentinels at that time. But it is still Sentinels up currently in the game itself. As you see the series score on your screen, we have a little bit of a tech pause here as we get to kind of discuss what's been going on. It has been that game of chess, a lot of work towards the B site, and the operator sending a message has started to come out. Shazam's been doing it, and now we see Durka with the op here. As he's also been buying marshals on save rounds.
Yeah, for sure. Love to see that. That's definitely a confident statement.
Yeah.
What's curious now is, what is the answer for Sentinels? Because momentum certainly has shifted into the hands of FNATIC. And
Absolutely.
so the question is, Sentinels, do they want to go back to B and just force the issue there? They know that Dirk and Doma like to play aggressively there. There's usually that slow orb that goes there from FNATIC at the earliest point of the round.
Get out of my way.
There's a lot of money for Sentinels right now. They lose this, they can still buy. So FNATIC really need to keep chipping away at the block. Shazam to peek. This is the drone. This is the one they were doing a few rounds ago from the side of Sentinels to make sure B long is clear. This area is theirs. And just some fundamental peeks here, making sure the Lear is out and the toxic screen. So everything's been the same so far. How do they vary it up? How do they change it from here? The reaction from FNATIC has been to allow them in. Mystic will call what utility he's seen, how it's being used, and then they'll have a pretty good idea of what they can do as a rebuttal.
There
we go.
They are very
Oh!
barely surviving. Yeah, they're really committed. I think that they realized that when they double up drafted and didn't see Durka here with the operator at yellow, that meant that he was elsewhere on the map, and they can't cross back now. And they know that. So Sentinels, it's not ideal for them, but they can still make this one work. It's very, very sketchy. Oh, a couple kills coming through for FNATIC through all of the smokes that are down, and just, it's no man's land. It's very difficult to get across to a planting position here for Sentinels. They're really working against it, and it only gets worse. The knives come out from Shazam with 33 health left. She gets hit through the toxic screen, no less. That's not a good look for Sentinels. Sums takes down one, but there's too much to deal with. FNATIC looking very strong there, and that's one of those things, Riv, where it's like, Shazam got the double up draft, spots that Durka is not B long. And so I think they just understand that he's playing mid there and it has that cross. So they have a decision to say, well, if he's not there, then we have some advantages in the early timings towards B because Dirk is not going to be able to do anything. But at the same time, we can't go back.
Screen. Yeah. Right. Well, they didn't have a flank, right? That's one of the big things. If they've committed without anybody behind them, Sentinels have to retake just about everything, which becomes very, very tough. We see the killjoy here for FNATIC, not for Sentinels. They don't even have the Cypher over there, so it's been difficult if they have not taken an area. A lot of frags to come out here to start with a res, and Magnum firing down the sights, able to take out two.
Huge kills. Big fight around middle here from both teams. And it looks like FNATIC are coming out ahead. 2 versus 3 for Sentinels. Up tube goes Zoms perhaps, trying to dodge the drone. And Sick needs to make some plays as well. He's crept his way through that B site. Oh, he's been spotted by the turret. Feels bad. Now he just has to hit the shots. And it's Sick after all. That's a fantastic shot onto Magnum. Leaving it up to Zoms with a minute to play with. He's got the spike. He's going to make his way towards this A site. And there is a real chance here for Zoms. He knows that his opponents will not be anywhere near this A site. He knows he'll have quite a bit of space to maneuver here in this post plant, but it's going to be a tough one.
No util left. Poison orb out. That's going to pop, and he'll be able to play that a little bit now. One peek. Oh, just gets the ADS in that goes over the head of Boaster, who's got it locked in. Beautifully done. FNATIC bring it a little closer to bring us near that tie game of 11-11. Remember, coming into this round, FNATIC still has a bit of money built up. I'm sorry, Sentinels has a bit of money built up. I believe next round is still a buy for them, if I remember correctly. So, again, FNATIC chipping away here at what Sentinels had built up. That might have been a few rounds ago. Let's see what the buys are here.
Yeah, Durka's openings as well have been really difficult to deal with. Just even if he's not, we saw in one of the previous rounds, even the fact that he wasn't where he was expected, that was actually kind of an issue because he was playing mid instead and was cutting off that rotate. And then in this round, that quick peek in mid once again. So Durka's showing a lot more presence towards mid early rounds. And that can mean a lot of different things. But does it mean that mid should be avoided entirely for Sentinels? Because that might be one of the normal reactions you'd expect. Sentinels are working the A side, but Mystic is so quick across the zip line. He's able to take down 10s for free and get out of there. That's a huge problem here, Rib. FNATIC are coming back massively, and Sentinels need something huge themselves to start working something back into this one, lest they lose this first map.
FNATIC are doing a great job as soon as Sentinels get to a site of just kind of info denying. Sentinels want to know what they're up against, what's happening. And then, on a spur-of-the-moment round, boom, one of them goes forward and drops tens immediately in the round. An unexpected thing. There's been no precedent set by FNATIC that they're going to be doing that. So varying it up, FNATIC is really starting to put things into the mix here to make sure Sentinels has to think twice. And Mystic again pushes up.
Not much left in the tank here now for Sentinels. Shazam against 4 players. And looking for that initial damage. Nice shot onto Boaster, but there's much more to be done, and they know exactly where he is now. There's no more element of surprise to work off of. Shazam starts to work his way around, and all his opponents have to do is stick together and not give him any opportunities. There's a turret laid down. Shazam, he knows he can't do too much here. He's going to be able to get this spike planted for the extra money at least.
Here they come. Oh, dear.
Dashing out. That almost looks like there was an opportunity there for Shazam, but
a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. Shut down, yeah. There it is.
Tied up.
Oh, my word, Dan. These rounds, nail-biting each time. There's really the utility use coming into each site, and then seeing how the second usage of utility is there to make sure that it can work even better than last time. You're varying it up so the teams aren't seeing the same thing. Here, Mystic again pushes up after a quick play to drop 1, gets 2 more after 10s. So what an impact round from him, and multiple impact rounds defending B. A lot of credit to Mystic, and they're vibing on the side of FNATIC right now. You'd have to be after this many rounds in a row.
Yeah, definitely. Everything they're doing is working, and Dirk is back to his normal positioning here, watching after be along with that operator. He'll be spotted by the drone, and we might see the lurk up mid here coming through from Tens, and Dirk was looking for a play under the tube, but Tens has gone up into kitchen. This could be, this is the X factor in this round. We'll see what Dirk can do, holding on to Yellow in the ice orb, but he's able to get himself the kill, and he's still sticking around with the cloud burst with the knives out. It's definitely a dangerous prospect for Sentinels, but they'll deal with him eventually.
Dapper takes down Dirk ahead in the clouds for the moment as Tens gets Magnum. It looks like Sentinels put themselves in a good spot for this round accordingly. And that's going to be the Viper's Pit going down. Dapper's in it. He'll plant, and let's see how this post plant is set up with Mystic getting a frag as the Hunter's Fury comes across as well.
Just coordinating things here, getting the res. A brief period of calm as they set up the retake. FNATIC. Very scary stuff. And there goes the Hunter's Fury. That's going to be very problematic here for FNATIC. You can see Shazam able to take down both. They're wrapping around. Doma's able to find one. The trade comes through. Magnum taps the spike. Forces out some util. Out the Viper's Pit. He perfectly baited Sick there.
Oh my God.
Almost gets the next one as well. And that is it. Can he find the time? No, not quite. Didn't get it up to halfway. It was a great attempt. And somehow Sentinels, they pick up around. It had to be this one, obviously. FNATIC in so much trouble there.
Oh, my word. So hard to run in that deep snow. There was no way he was getting away. Wow. Everybody playing hard as well. The teamwork coming through from each side. Everybody playing their little parts in these rounds from Sentinels and FNATIC to now bring us to our final round, or a possible another tie to bring us to overtime on the day. Cannot wait to see. Already on the edge of our seat here for game 1 of this series as NA again takes on EU, and we're almost through ICEBOX. Round 24 on the board here. Can FNATIC keep it going?
Shazam with the Bladestorm out is looking after mid at the moment. Not much play around here. It's worth mentioning there's no operators on the field at the moment. The weaponry, not the best if you're Zoms on that Bulldog, but I'm sure you can find an upgrade soon. And Sentinels with this mid presence is quite useful in terms of gathering that information early on. And it's a delayed take into B long as well coming through now from them as well. But Magnum's actually going and asking some questions. Does get tapped by the drone, falls back, actually survives. Durka will slow things down as well, and that will buy some time for the rotation, but maybe not. Zoms is straight through, takes down Durka, and Sentinels off to a good start to try to clinch this one.
This mid control coming from Sentinels as well, but a nice shot from Doma will cut that in half. It's now just going to be Shazam lurking up there. Bladestorm ready for him, and he's going to be able to deliver a little Cutco door-to-door onto Doma. And now Sentinels make their move on the post plant. Mystic, he's got a lot going for him, but this is a tall task.
Certainly is. Mystic making his way forward to see what he can get done here. Well, not
my
too
word.
much. Shazam, excellent, excellent final round to close things here. Sentinels look like they were in so much trouble, Riv, but they managed to lock in map 1 of this best of 3 series against the European, well, Masters, FNATIC.
Yeah, absolutely. Sentinels have been looking strong for so long, winning 7 of the last titles of the things they were even in. And they continue to just come in here trying to understand their opponent and playing their game. I think both teams played amazing there. And we're going to see that coming into next game. It came down to a matter of frags and a matter of rounds. I think the operator was huge on the side of Sentinels.